Aloha folks, my name is Spunks and welcome back to another episode of Box Office Chat. This is the show where I take a look at the top 5 domestic box office results, see where each movie landed, and discuss how well they are doing. So let's jump right into it. Number 5 was The Croods: A New Age, making $788.3 thousand this weekend, bringing its domestic total to $53 million and its worldwide gross to $157 million. So after a long, good run, standing atop of the competition box office, it seems like that good run has come to an end as the movie. This is the first time on this show, and its entire domestic run, the film has earned less than $1 million. And you know what? Good run indeed. Props to this movie. It was able to become the second highest grossing movie post pandemic, until actual more movies start coming out, and be able to beat the other competition, and like Wonder Woman 1984 and Monster Hunter and all that jazz, and came very close to beating Tenet's domestic record of 57 million, but it just got close, so I was technically right about this, but still, well done, DreamWorks and Universal. You played your cards right, and you were rewarded it. Coming in at number 4 is Boogie, which made 1.2 million on its domestic opening weekend, and there are currently no worldwide totals as of yet. So yeah, this is basically in line where I thought it would be from last week. It would just open to maybe a little over $1 million and just basically serve as a placeholder. And while I have heard some okay, alright things about the movie, I'm not sure if it'll be able to maintain this spot next week. But still, opening at 1.1 million isn't all that bad, especially for a movie like this, which I can only guess didn't really cost that much. So hopefully it'll get the recognition it deserves through word of mouth or through PVOD and streaming when it releases in a couple of months, probably. Moving on to number 3, we have Chaos Walking, which made 3.8 million on its opening weekend domestically and is sitting at 6 million worldwide on a budget of $100 million. So yeah, this movie has a bit of a history. It initially stopped filming in 2017, but it kept constantly getting delayed and had major productional issues and reshoots up the wazoo, and it's finally out, and this is the opening weekend. I do have a feeling that many of the filmmakers are disappointed, but I also feel that many of us pretty much expected this to happen due to the marketing and how the movie looked. Just generally didn't look all that appealing to audiences, and with the constant delays, in my opinion, they probably should just delayed this and swap it for one of their cheaper movies like, I don't know, Barb and Star, go to Vista Del Mar, probably, I don't know. That movie was good, and it would probably have been much easier to recoup that film's budget since it is obviously much cheaper to make than this 100 million YA sci-fi movie. But yeah, it is definitely going to take a very long time for this movie to make back its entire $100 million budget back, which, to be honest, I'm not even sure if that'll happen, but, stranger things have happened before on this show, so who knows, maybe Chaos Walking Mania may sweep the nation. Number 2 is the Tom and Jerry movie, which made 6.6 million this weekend, adding up to a domestic total of 23 million and a worldwide total of 57 million. So not only has this movie become one of many movies across the $20 million mark, but it also made back its initial budget of $50 million, which is great, especially since how fast it did since the movie came out last week. And if the movie is able to have strongholds just like the Croods did, I can definitely see it doubling its budget and crossing the $100 million mark worldwide. And I also believe that if it's able to have strongholds just like the Croods did, it will be able to double its budget and cross the $100 million mark worldwide. So I think it's safe to say, regardless of how big the numbers are on HBO Max, that Warner Brothers has a hit. That it's already doubled its budget, and it's only $3 million away from $60 million. And I'm sure that the movie will cross $100 million very soon. So yeah, Warner Brothers definitely played their cards right. and it seems that audiences are enjoying this movie. And finally, let's end the video off with the number one movie of the weekend, and that is Raya and the Last Dragon, which made $8.5 million on its opening weekend domestically and is sitting at 26 million worldwide. So there are a lot of stories and reports about how, oh, this movie is failing, it's a disappointment, it didn't meet expectations, yada yada yada. And while yes, it did make significantly less than the Croods and Tom and Jerry, I wouldn't call this like a bad opening weekend. Now, if it made like 2 or 3 million, yes, you can say that all you want. But an 8 million in these times, that's pretty good if you ask me. The fact that it almost made 10 million in the 3 days it was released with a number of theaters closed is pretty commendable if you ask me, and it's almost at 30 million worldwide, which is still great. Granted, I'm sure the budget is super huge, over 100 million, which could be an issue, but still, I wouldn't consider this a bad opening for these times. And you've also got to consider these two factors. One factor is that it wasn't a theatrical exclusive, it did a simultaneous release where it premiered in theaters, or you could watch it on Disney Plus for a premium access fee of $30. Why they didn't give it us free, like sold it, I have no idea, but I'm assuming that there were probably plenty of people who actually genuinely paid the $30 to watch it. So hopefully that helped this movie out in some way, shape, or form. And another factor is that it didn't play in nearly as much theaters as the Croods or Tom and Jerry, because many theater chains like Cinemark, Harricans, and Cineplex in Canada did not show it because Disney was being unfair with their terms, so they just said, no, we're not showing your movie, too bad. So I think that was also a factor, so maybe Disney might want to renegotiate so that it can be seen in many more theaters this week, hopefully, but given how it's Disney and it's already made their money, I do not think that's the case. But still, I don't think this is a failure in any way, shape, or form, and given how it's another family movie, I can definitely see it having strong holds that'll definitely help this movie make the more money and get the recognition it deserves from audiences everywhere. And those are the top 5 domestic box office results, but we're not quite done yet as we got another week ahead of us and another new release of movies. And we only have one new release, and it's for a movie called Long Weekend. This is another romantic comedy hitting theaters this week, and I gotta be honest, I just heard about this movie 3 days ago and saw that it was coming out this Friday, so you can kind of guess how well I think this movie's gonna do. It's probably gonna end up like Boogie and earn a little over $1 million, given how, again, I just heard about this, but who knows, maybe everyone else across the country has been hearing this movie for several months now, so however much this movie makes, I'll be sure to talk about it and the other movies that make it into the box office charts on the next Box Office Chat. And that's going to do it for this week's episode of Box Office Chat. What did you guys think of the results? Were you satisfied, unsatisfied? Comment down below and let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like this channel, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on all of the social media links right there. And until next time, guys, stay sharp.